वनचारे जमुना तीर वनचारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय अंशपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस ऑफ चरण अरविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की समावेत भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter number 18, the battle between Lord Boar and Hiranyaksha, and text number 24. Okay. Mainam Mayavinam Daptam Nirankusham Asattamam Akrida Balavadeva Yatha Shivim is Upastitam Yatha Avisham. Avisham means a serpent. So, Mainam Mayavinam Daptam Nirankusham Asattamam Akrida Balavat Deva yatha vishisham uthitam mainam mayavinam daptam nirankusham asattamam akrida balavadeva yatha shivivisham uthitam mainam mayavinam daptam nirankusham asantamam akrida balavadeva yatha shivisham uthitam. Mothers, Ma, do not enam him. Maya vinam, skilled in conjuring tricks. Draptam, arrogant. Nirankusham, self-sufficient. Asattamam, most wicked. Akrida, play with. Balavat, like a child. Deva, O Lord. Yatha, as. Avisham, Ashivasam, a serpent. Utthitam, aroused. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Brahma continued, my dear Lord, there is no need to play with this serpentine demon, who is always very skilled in conjuring tricks and is arrogant, self-sufficient and most wicked. No one is unhappy when a serpent is killed. It is a practice among the village boys to catch a serpent by the tail and play with it for some time and then kill it. Similarly, the Lord could have killed the demon at once, but He played with him in the same way as a child plays with a snake before killing it. Brahma requested, however, that since the demon was more wicked and undesirable than a serpent, there was no need to play with him. It was his wish that he be killed at once without delay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshul Militanjena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mainam Maya Vinam Draptam Nirankusham Sattamam Akrida Balavadeva Yatha Shivi Utthitam. Lord Brahma continued, my dear Lord, there is no need to play with this serpentine demon, who is always very skilled in conjuring tricks and is arrogant, self-sufficient and most wicked. Was it there any necessity for Brahma to remind the Lord, who is this guy, who is omniscient, omnipresent and omnipotent? Then why Brahma is speaking? Anxiety. But why he is so anxious? This is the first demon of millennium. All right? And in every millennium when Brahma repeats his life, he forgets the previous historical references that he witnessed so far. For his 1,000 times is being repeated, this kind of appearance of the Lord just to annihilate the demons. And the same demons want to enact every millennium. Then you can understand the extent of forgetfulness in the Pratham Jiva, what to speak of us. What is the necessity for Brahma to remind the Lord as if the Lord has appeared in a form of an animal? So, on the basis of esoteric truth, Brahma understands that he is Supreme Lord. The Devatas were completely confused, more confused than Brahma. All right? So it is understood. The leader is confused, everybody will be confused too. So the understanding is a gradual process. So from the most ignorant stage to a cognizant stage, and then foretelling according to the spiritual advancement, people become Trikalagya. Vyasadeva knew the future. He was an empowered incarnation, but he also came as a grandfather of, as a grandson of Brahma, Brahma being the grandfather, even in disciplic succession. So, the material creation has to be created in the medium of ignorance. So, without any exception, all the jivas are captured by Maya. Brahma does not have confidence on Boar incarnation. No, he knows, he has partial confidence, but he thinks that because the Lord has appeared in his jurisdiction, a physical jurisdiction, it is important that the Lord needs guidance. Of course, there is no offense. Krishna has tolerated. Boar incarnation has tolerated. He doesn't comment. But when we think that what was the necessity in the prayers of Lord Brahma, it is to appease the Lord, that please stop the playing like a little boy. His forewarning, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that this guy is very treacherous. Finish him immediately. Brahma was selfish to relieve from his own anxiety. We invite the Lord to relieve from our own anxiety. And Srila Prabhupada says a pure devotee take the risk to the extent of let any anxiety comes in front of him. So, proper service can be rendered unless and until we take some risk. You will not draw attention from the Supreme Lord. But Brahma was anxious. He doesn't want to take the risk, the Lord to take risk for his fellow demigods who were completely ignorant. So Brahma plays double role. On behalf of the demigods, he is praying. So every living entity in the material world will live in anxiety because it's a wrong medium for him to come in the first place. So when the Lord appears in the form of boar, he also thinks or takes for granted that he is also one of the appearance, but in the bodily conception of life. So naturally, anyone who is in bodily conception of life is covered with the anxiety. Because that is not the natural place. So right from the creation, or one who becomes the head of the household, now he is becoming a Prajapati like Brahma, and he has to take a lot of risk to worship the Supreme Lord. That so many interactives between husband and wife and the family members will keep on going, that it will create nothing but anxiety. The poor guy has taken up the burden on his head to run the household according to the dictate of the Supreme. Brahma, being the first Prajapati, he wanted to appease his, who are under his care, the demigods especially, who also have families. And demons are always anxious to first disturb the devotees. So the Lord, his real enemy, can come forward. Unless and until the devotees are disturbed, the Lord is not going to come. Therefore, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yoge yoge. Prabhupada is explaining, Brahma's anxiety is it's like that this person is becoming more and more powerful when you want to play with him. And he will be so tricky that, my dear Lord, you are not aware that what is he going to do. He is like the serpent who is disturbed and raised his self just to strike against you. He is becoming more powerful by your play. Stop, please, this play and kill him at once. He appeared to kill the demon, but why he is delaying? Right? So Prabhupada explains this, that even children want to kill the serpent, but serpent is trying to flee because he is also fearful of his own, problems of death. So children pick him up from the tail and try to play around. But then finally they kill him. Right? So the Lord is also doing almost identically the same kind of technique. But unless and until the serpent raises his hood and is ready to strike, they will not give up the tail. The children will not. They will back off. And now, watch out. But they are happy. And Prabhupada says here, then no one is unhappy when a serpent is killed. One time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj was giving Srimad Bhagavatam class, and all devotees crowded so much that the hall was filled up, and many have to stand outside in the veranda. Okay? So he was giving classes, and all of a sudden a snake appeared in the veranda, and the devotees were becoming, completely at unrest and commotion created. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj said, "What is happening there?" said, Maharaj, there is a deadly snake here. So Bhakti said, kill him. Oh, we are devotees. We are not supposed to kill an animal. No, kill him at once. And they killed him because it's Guru's order. But then somebody asked him the question, why did we kill deliberately? Then Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Sadhurevapi modate vrichik sarpani hatya. Sadhur. Even the devotees enjoy. Modate means to enjoy. Vrichik sarpani hatya. Those who are poisonous, they should be killed immediately. To kill a snake is poisonous. Or to kill vrichik means scorpion. Both of them have poison, and one should not wait. In Kerala, you can call snake catchers, and they come immediately, without delay, within a span of half an hour. Because there is a lot of wildlife and a lot of trained personnel. And otherwise in other states you don't see. In the hospital also the anti-venom vaccination is there, can relieve. Because Kerala is almost jungle. And they have snake farms. They preserve. It's not like Australian crocodile farms, and that's for slaughter and export of everything of a crocodile. And people are trained to catch and hold the poisonous snakes. Trained. They don't want to harm them. Because they are rare species. King cobra, 26 feet long. Who can stand in front of that? When he raises his foot, he's almost 12 feet high. When he hisses, people flee. But they are there. Just like you get wildlife safari, they have snake safari. But only certain region. One time I was watering the plants and I was told, Maharaj, there is a snake on the gate. Now I saw a little king cobra which was 8 foot long and just a little child. And he was watching me and I was watching him. But I have a water hose, so just for 2 minutes I didn't disturb him. But then I started sprinkling water, and you wouldn't believe, this little cobra also has fangs. But he ran away to save his life, such a swiftest manner. Even though he has long body, he moved away so fast, maybe 40 miles an hour speed, and you can't catch him. A little cobra. Almost every house will have some snakes. But people, are so wretched that if a wife comes with gold ornaments, they have a lot of customs where in dowry they have to be given kilos of gold. Kilos. You don't buy in ounce there. Kilos. Kerala. All the Middle East gold comes there. So, there was a court case where the husband was accused of killing the wife. So what he did, he hired one snake catcher and got a snake. While she was sleeping, he left the snake in the house and went away. Next day, naturally, the wife was found dead, all right? And the snake disappeared. So everybody thought that it's a natural death. But then investigation revealed that he appeared to a snake catcher and made a deal to purchase a snake. But we know, where will we find a snake catcher in the time of emergency? So better kill him. Sadhurevapi modate. Even the devotees enjoy killing a snake. That is a statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj commissioned, and they killed the snake. And that's about it. You have to be anxiety-free. Snakes, whether it's poisonous or not poisonous, most of the people get scared, right? And Australia has so many snakes, different kinds of snakes. And that mad Irwin was playing with them, and he was beaten up so many times. You know mad Irwin? The crocodile man? He is in the northern suburbs of Brisbane. He has a farm, crocodile farm, and he was taming. And he was on the TV, on the National Geographic, and so many things. All right? Do you know who killed him? You know it. I'm not an Australian. You are living in Australia. You should know it. Stingray. He was swimming and he was behind a stingray. He wanted to catch and play with it. And she shot an arrow. It penetrated his heart and died immediately. Otherwise, he was beaten by snakes so many times. But he was a mad person. He was playing just for publicity. He became famous. But that's the end. Anyway, in Srimad Bhagavatam we have some references which are very startling, and we have to understand in reference to the context. You don't go and hunt snakes for that reason. Janmejaya wanted to take the revenge that Takshak has killed Parikshit Maharaj. So he created a very terrible vow to kill all the snakes, and he did it in the form of a yajna where the sacrifice of the snakes would be done. But he was also stopped by Brahma. Dhruv Maharaj also wanted to sacrifice the entire race of the Yakshas because one Yaksha killed his brother, Uttama. So in this way, the snakes, Yakshas, the demons, they are like snakes. Their character is like that. And they should be destroyed. And Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkratam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he appears from time to time. But the reaction of Brahma is completely unexpected. That he was showing the anxiety and as if, how come Krishna, the boar incarnation, is taking time and playing around instead of killing? Because of bodily conception of life, the anxiety comes. So Brahma is not free from bodily conception. When he gets properly acquainted by all these experiences, then he is capable to tell us with confidence, please have faith. And this faith should be unshakable, nishtha. What's the difference between shraddha and nishtha? Weak faith and strong faith. Yeah. Faith is the natural inclination to depend on, but our dependency can be disturbed by unwarranted activities of Maya, and we get confused. But regardless, those who have taken up the path of Krishna consciousness, they have to study about faith, that I received this faith only through association of the devotees. So I must continue the association to sustain the faith and enter into bhajana kriya, so I can be purified and my faith will get, stronger. But the biggest obstacle is anartha. Anarthopashamam sakshad bhakti yoga adukshaje. For upashamam of anartha, upashamam means subsiding the anarthas in our life. We should have very unflinching faith on Lord Krishna. So the faith has to develop stronger and stronger and stronger. But without proper association and without performance of our sadhana, the faith cannot be verified, because anarthas are the fourth step is to be subsided. After bhajana kriya, anartha nivrutti is given. It is extremely difficult to wipe out 100% anarthas, but Krishna awards when our faith is strong enough, it turns into nishtha, means liberation. it is said in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu that the nishtha is the state of liberating. So the Shraddha and Nishtha are two different connotations of the same meaning. One is, Adau Shraddha means in the beginning you must have some faith. Whether it is strong or weak doesn't matter. Have little faith, which is generated by the association of the devotees. Because everybody does. So you cultivate that faith. Faith is not generated simply because you have a previous pious life. No. The faith should be bhaktyonmukhi. Bhaktyonmukhi. It will give the impetus to engage in devotional service and only association of the devotees who are engaging themselves. They will be the impetus for us. Any newcomer, he is completely blank-headed, but in association of devotees, he will be more comfortable to come regularly, and one day he will be told, please take up mala, chant along with us, and your life will be successful. They will give the final result right in the beginning. Yeah, definitely. Because that is the aim. That's how the strong conviction in association of the devotees will be given, the seed of strong conviction. But it has to be nurtured and experienced. So, anartha nivrutti, and anartha nivrutti can be also achieved only in association of the devotees. If you want to hide anartha and do not associate with the devotee, you will be the loser. Neither you will be able to remove the anarthas, and you will not progress in devotional service. So just to keep the newcomer in association of the devotees have to be compassionate on him. And they must show loving compassion so he will not undermine that benefit, because elsewhere he is not getting. When the devotees show loving compassion, then he will be sold out. He will be sold out. This is a generalized practice and upgrading in devotional service. Whatever the envious nature is also anarthas, that will start subsiding. Naisha matim tavat urukramangri. Urukram means Lord Shri Krishna. Angri means the lotus feet. Naisha matim. Our attachment to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will not arise. Sprashyati na anorthapamam upashamam. Upashamam means subsiding of anarthas. Sprashyati na, it does not even touch the subject matter of anarthas. Everybody is filled with anarthas. But the inclination to Lord Shri Krishna, to serve him, to perform devotional service from him, does not arise. Still, Mahiyasam yadi padarajobhishekam. The great devotees first give him the shelter. So senior devotees have responsibilities to give shelter. Padarajobhishekam, and that newcomer smear his head with the dust of the lotus feet of that devotee. Nishkinchananam na vrinita javat. These devotees, senior devotees, are nishkinchanam. They have developed their sadhana and come up to the point of kichunai, nishkinchanam, no attachments. Virakti is nishkinchananam, na vrinita javat. If they don't allow to let that person take the dust from his lotus feet and smear on his head, he will not be able to get the inclination towards Lord Krishna. So devotees play a very important role. Those who are practicing, those who are senior, those who are, responsible, those who are compassionate, those who are willing to sacrifice for the love of God. They are madhyamadhikaris and they have a very important role to play in Krishna consciousness. If you do not get such mercy from one, go to another. But understanding this particular phenomenon, the devotee becomes assured. Assured victory is guaranteed. Name bhakta pranashyati. This is the arrangement of the Supreme Lord. Brahma is a bhakta, but he is attached. And therefore he also expresses the anxiety to the Supreme Lord. It is but natural. But as he goes on experiencing till realization of the Supreme Lord in the 10th canto, we will see he is also improving gradually. And in his prayers, he will stop giving advice to Krishna what to do. So that's okay. But this is very primary stage. This is the first demon coming in his millennium. So naturally, when the demons strike in his jurisdiction, Brahma has to become very alert. And he has a responsibility to prepare these 33 crores of demigods to manage what he is going to create. That is Visarga. Demigods are not born during Sarga of Krishna. They are born of Brahma during Visarga. So they are in the material world, maybe in higher position, but not spiritual. Only few are spiritual. Brahma is also spiritual by his experience and jurisdiction. Lord Shiva is better spiritual because he had to take up the order of Brahma. Yesterday we talked about him. Now Shivji is no more a Prajapati, he is meditating all the time. He takes his family by so much detachment that he is considered to be the father and Durga is the mother for bodies, And yet they don't have any place for staying. Where does Lord Shiva stay? In the forest. Yeah. Every day he changes the tree. He doesn't stay in the same tree for spending his night. And Parvati does not object. And Ganesh does not object. Nandi does not object. Even the lion does not object. Even the serpent does not object. And Kartikeya also does not object. This is the family of Lord Shiva. And all these characters are completely opposite than each other. Their nature is opposite. If Nandi is there, lion is there, they are enemies. If mouse is there, serpent is there. If serpent is there, peacock is there. Who is riding on the peacock? Kartikeya. Right? So this family life is always made up of opposite characters. If Lord Shiva is our leader, why should we have an exceptional belief? But why there is unity? Why there is unity? Lord Shiva has mala, Parvati has mala, Ganesh has mala, Kartikeya has mala. So chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There is no quarrel in Lord Shiva's life, so there will be no quarrel in our family life. Okay? Just chant, don't say can't. In childhood you are so nice, but when you start getting your mustache coming out, you think you are somebody. Be aware. Okay? Good. So, this is the material life. It starts from Brahma. He is not an exception. He can also become victim in 1 millennium to run after his own creation, the daughter, Vak. And he was chastised. And he committed suicide. Because he knew with contamination, he can't even beget mentally pure devotees or potent devotees to carry out the function of being Prajapati. It is a challenge. And Brahma knew that. He was faced with the challenge. So he committed suicide. And he was reborn and then make a sankalpa. You see, what we call, he is the controller mode of passion, and then how can he become victim of it? Yes, the modes are powerful. They bind every living entity. And Brahma is the first living entity. Do you think he's an exception? No. He has to work hard to be the leader. So, anxiety. Of course, only foolish people who do not have brain, they think jail is the safest place he can ever live without any anxiety. They will feed you, they will give you some work to do. But because he has committed crime, he cannot be, put back unless and until he understands the responsibility that he has to observe. Irresponsible people cannot live in the society. So, Srimad Bhagavatam gives all this clarity that we have to be very, very watchful. When we become devotee, it doesn't mean that we have to become oblivious to the problems of material world. If we become oblivious, we will become victimized. So it is not completely, absurd that devotees should not look into the material affairs. We must know, but we should not depend upon or associate with the material affairs. One can accept this instruction simply by hearing it. He is called the best person to receive the instructions and follow instruction, simply by hearing. If one wants to get his own experience and then learn, he's like an ass. Unless beaten up, you won't experience and you won't progress. They said in humanity that the first 25 years is called Gadapachisi. First 25 years of our life is called Gadapachisi. Gada means ass. It's ass-like mentality till we are not shaped up by proper beatings of Maya. He's like an ass. After 25 years, when he is ready to get married, he has to be responsible. He has to be responsible. He can't escape. Brahmacharis are in safe haven here. But how long? Yes, get well trained is the opportunity, but to become responsible for future life. If we divide 25, 25, 25 and 25, say 100 years span of life, the first 25 years are called Gadapachisi. Second 25 is for economic development, sense gratification. But after 50 years, Panchashatam Vanam Gachet, retire immediately. People want to work up to 65 minimum. This is Kali Yuga. He is supposed to retire and he wants to work till 75 years of life. It means he is accumulating more karmic reactions. He is not utilizing the time of retirement for cultivating Krishna consciousness. Yesterday we learned that Prabhupada is inviting those after 50 to come and stay in Vrindavan to cultivate proper association, the framework for mind, and cultivate detachment. So, after 75, Nirjan Bhajan, we have to concentrate more sincerely in our Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. The body is not going to cooperate to do deity worship and other things. Those who have been benefited, they will progress more in proper situations, But Krishna gives us opportunities. Who said, oh, I never got an opportunity? You, Prabhu, missed it because of ignorance. And you are responsible for it. So in this way, we need to understand anxieties are not going to leave behind. But convert or let the anxieties be remaining for service of Krishna. Take responsibility of it. The anxiety will be changed into the inner joy of devotional service. The same anxiety. Can you imagine how much gopis are in anxiety when Krishna goes to tend the cows? Srimad Bhagavatam tells. But they were enjoying the anxiety. Brahma is not enjoying his anxieties. Brahma is speaking as if he doesn't have faith on Krishna. Weakness. Did Brahma forget that the Lord has come for the benefit of the devotees? But bodily conception of life. He thinks, this avatar, he has come from my body. He thinks that he has produced this body of Varahavatar. Otherwise, why he would be in anxiety? He thinks Varahavatar is just playing like a child with this demon. But those who are Prajapatis, they have to take the thankless task for raising their progeny, means anxiety. Householder life is not free from anxiety. We sympathize with you. But everybody should not be in that same situation of anxiety all the way up to the end of life. What gain are you going to get? Better take anxiety for Krishna, and that will be an easy consciousness. Divert our material anxieties through proper Krishna conscious and association into anxiety for Krishna. You have to get up before Krishna gets up. You have to prepare for waking him up. So, the Vaishnava Sishtachar encompasses right from our waking up early in the morning and preparing. So every aspect is to be done. If one is left over, you will be in anxiety. You have to do proper tilak. You have to chant your Gayatri. You have to do this, that. It's coming under Vaishnava etiquette. Because the way you are treating your so-called material body as the place of residence for the Lord, you decorate him and present before the Lord and proper framework of consciousness. Don't become mechanical there. We have so many activities and we think, making adjustment all the time. This pujari hasn't come, he got sick, so we have to replace and this and that. Oh my God. But if everybody is conscious that without taking responsibility and becoming anxiety for Krishna, whether it is one pujari or 10 pujaris. Everybody would have to think of Krishna for the anxiety of Krishna. Otherwise, who is going to unattend for him? So Srila Prabhupada gave us extremely important character of engagement in Krishna consciousness. And everybody should be properly engaged. This is his master stroke in transforming a karmi life into pure devotion. So anybody has any question? Yes, Prabhu, 1, 2, go ahead. He did first, okay. Yeah.
Just a couple of things. Are there any specific reasons the Lord chooses to appear in animal forms, especially in the form of boar, which is considered to be one of the lowest species in animal kingdom?
Yes. So what? Because he had to pick up from the nether region of the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean. And it is hellish like gutter. Who goes in the gutter? So he did an appropriate shape. He doesn't get... And this is Svetavaraha avatar. The first one is Svetavaraha avatar. So, it's a challenge to Hiranaksha. He appeared appropriately to lift up the earth on his 2 tumuli and bring on the surface of the Garbhodak ocean and let it float. Hiranaksha was under impression that nobody can do this kind of feat, that take up the earth and plunge it into the end of Garbhodak ocean. It means Pataloka. So, Lord Shri Krishna did an appropriate job. Even though it's lowest of the animal, but under whose calculation? Krishna is not considering that he is the lowest animal. He is fulfilling the desire of the hog. But Krishna is not a hog. He may have taken the hog form, but it was never material form. But spiritual form is also there. It's Satchidananda Vigraha in the hog form. The stool eaters on the street, you might have seen in India. You never think of boar incarnation by seeing them. We have seen hogs in our childhood because we were also passing stool on the corner of the house or the age open. When we were 2-3-year-old, we were sent because we do not know how to sit in a toilet at that time. So I said, go and sit outside. Yeah, we were passing stool. And the hog will come, push us, then we come crying. Mother will come and clean us, some ananda. But those were the days. You can't think even in Australia, right? But we are not reminded of Varaha avatar. simply by seeing them. If the hogs give up their dirty habits, and it could be a worshipable animal, but for whom? Nobody worships him. In Kali Yuga, the Muslims are calling it haram. But Haridas Thakur explains in Nama Chintamani, Harinam Chintamani, that because the word Ram is intact in haram, one Muslim who had eaten rotten meat previous day, he was suffering, and all of a sudden there was a pressure in his stomach, and he had to run with a lota in the jungle. At that time there were no toilets. So he said, he was in anxiety to relieve himself by passing stool. But he saw one hog. He was hungry for many days. And the Muslim said, haram. The hogs are haram for them. Right? And the hog cannot stay. He said, I got my mal. He came and poked his tutumuli in the Muslim, threw him away, and he ate stool. So before passing, he spoke haram. And Haridas Thakur said, he got liberated. Why? The holy name of Ram is intact in haram. There is another example. If you say Hamari, Hamari, so her is interfered by ma into the third word, which is called Ri. Instead of speaking of Hari, we are talking Hamari. What will happen? We will never be liberated. That is called Varna Vyavadhan, interference of one syllable. So never try to interfere in the syllabalistic understanding also of the holy name. Remember we talked about yesterday about Swaminarayan? Did I talk here or there? There. Okay, all right. Prabhupada was having morning walk, and Dr. Patel, his companion, he was an impersonalist, and he would question Prabhupada so much. And Prabhupada thought he's a genuine person, so he was not minding him. But he would join him during morning walk in Juhu Beach. So Dr. Patel came with few friends and introduced, Prabhupada, these are also Krishna Bhaktas. And Prabhupada knew, because Gujaratis have so many Swaminarayans around them. And especially, Dr. Patel was coming from Nadiyad and Charotar, and there's a stronghold of Swaminarayan. So Prabhupada understood, and he responded, oh, what kind of Krishna Bhaktas are there? He asked Dr. Patel, and he could not respond. What kind of Krishna Bhaktas are there? And they also got shut up. Because if their friend is not able to speak, they do not know What kind of Krishna Bhaktas are there? So then Prabhupada quoted the 7th chapter, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dradavrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayuka upasate. Nityayukta. They always engage. Satatam kirtayanto mam, he says. Krishna says, my kirtan. I'm not teaching my disciples to chant Prabhupada Krishna, Prabhupada Krishna. I'm telling them to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is without any interruptions. Why are they chant Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan? Why Swami is interfering with the holy name of Narayan? Is Swami not the holy name? You cannot chant along, but you want to make your Swami as good as Narayan? If he's a guru, he will be for the disciple, but not for general public. Then I explained, Sahajananda Swami has the first disciple called Nityananda, and he took sannyas. So these people thought, oh, now we have two Swamis. Sahajananda Swami and Nityananda Swami. But one is Guru, another is Shishya. So, okay, let Nityananda be Swami and let make Sahajananda God. Because higher than the devotee is the Supreme Lord. So Sahajananda Swami himself got both the titles, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan. He is God, they will teach you. And Krishna says, God says, only my name. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangam param brajet. Only Lord Krishna's holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But that's also given in our Lilamrita. You can revisit. It's filled with so much clarity of Srila Prabhupada. Yes, what is your question?
So looking at that beautiful statement you made about niskinchana, no attachment. So then going back to Bhagavad Gita 16.1, Krishna says the first aspect of divinity is abhayam, or fearlessness. So is it necessary that one has no attachment first before one becomes fearless? Or is that, how does it work?
In Sharanagati, 6 things are required. Not 1 or 2. First is humility, dainyam. Second thing is detachment. The third thing is you depend upon Lord Krishna totally, utterly. All right? So, he will nourish you as well as protect you. And therefore, 5th and 6th will be, you perform only favorable service to Krishna and avoid unfavorable services. The Shadavida Saranagati. Saranagati has 6 components. One has to simultaneously develop. Then it will be complete. Otherwise, it's partial. It works only when we have 6 elements. Fearlessness is there, but because it is required to speak truth, you don't have to misinterpret, you don't have to hide the fact. Oh, it is too esoteric and you will learn when you grow old. No, spell it. Nothing can be kept secret. Bhagavad Gita is an open secret. Yeah.
Just going by the synonyms, Prabhupada translated Nirankusham as self-sufficient. I was just wondering in what way Hiranyaksha is self-sufficient in regards to the
Nirankush means, Ankush means control, and Nirankush means without control. Means he should be self-sufficient in order to do whatever he likes. He has no control over by somebody. He thinks. Even Maya cannot control. That was his implication. Actually, Krishna is Nirankush, Swarat. It does not depend upon anybody. Right? So, after all, demons are nothing but they are imitators of the Supreme. See. They think they are God. Didn't his brother, Hiranyakashipu, wanted to emphasize that he is the Lord and not Vishnu? You have to be under control. Your mama is going, I saw you. You want to show something, but she controlled you. So don't think you are Nirankush. Okay? You have Ankush. I saw. And you are on the verge of. That's good, right? Otherwise, who will protect you? Yeah.
Maharaj, you mentioned about Brahma is not enjoying his anxiety and gopis are enjoying their anxiety. So Brahma is because he also carry out the order of Krishna, but he is because of
Yes, but carrying out order to indulge in Maya.
Because our situation is like that, that's why we are not
Naturally, but we have to transcend those anxieties and have anxiety for Lord Krishna. Unless and until you start loving Krishna, that anxiety will not come. They don't want to be separated from Krishna. But naturally, they cannot stop Krishna. He has to go to tend the cows. So they will wait in such anxiety. So during the whole day, they will never forget Krishna, but always remain anxious. Oh, he goes with naked foot, and even the stones will hurt his so tender lotus feet. See the extent of anxiety. Yes.
If the creator of the universe, Brahmaji, the first citizen, is put under Maya, how could he even function and lead the sages and demigods?
Well, everybody is in Maya, those who have material bodies. Brahma was not born in spiritual body. He was born on the lotus